Hey guys, this is Robbie again. I am back with another DM design here, doing the second floor of this catacomb. And I already pulled it up and I randomized it a couple times just to see if I could find one I like. And I found I really like this design. It's asymmetrical. You enter through here. To the right, you have a dead end. To the left, you'll eventually get to a boss room, but then there's stuff branching out on the sides that you can do in the meantime. So again, I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to set this up to be a bit more difficult than the last one. So what can we do here? First of all, like I said, I always like to add a door there to separate these two rooms. So almost all of these encounters as they go through the dungeon are going to be difficult encounters. I really want to give a sense of dread, and I want to give a hint that the impending doom at the end of this dungeon isn't going to be anything that they can just walk over like they have probably done through the other dungeons and stuff that they've gone through at this point in the story. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a couple of difficult encounters over here. So this looks pretty good. A lot of enemies in this room. It's a big open space. The casters here will do a lot to the group, and they're going to be a pain to kill. But we do want to rearrange the way this is working, the way that it's automatically set up, by presenting a stronger formation for the enemies here. Something that the group will actually have trouble defeating. And so we'll lay this out in this manner. We have another vampire thrall here. Actually, I'd like to drop him here. Drop him here. Let's see. Another vampire thrall here. I have my archers here. So whenever they walk through this door right here, which we'll go ahead and we'll lock. And we'll make it just a hard lock. We're not going to trap it. As soon as they walk through this door, they're going to have a whole lot of stuff to deal with, which is kind of what I want. I want this one to be a more difficult fight for the group. So they'll go through and they'll fight these guys, and then come across what looks like a dead end. It's going to be very hard to find this door. But if the rogue is searching, and if they roll high enough with the number generator, which I think that's how it works, they're going to come across a whole bunch of treasure chests. And I'm actually going to drop another one in here, just to sweeten the deal for them, so to speak. Oh, I don't want that one. So I'm going to have 4 treasure chests in here to get once they clear out this group of people here. I'm also going to lay out a couple of traps. I'm going to leave this one there as a hint, but I'm going to spread these traps out just along this row. And so they can come through here, and if the tank or fighter isn't paying attention, he'll probably run into a couple of these as he goes. I think here is fine. It's just a little skirmish to get into before they do that, but I would like to lay down one more trap. Let me do a poison cloud trap right here, and I'll do another one here. And this one I actually want to be a little bit harder to find, but not so hard to disarm. So they'll pick this door, it'll do a poison cloud if they don't get the trap done, and then they'll walk into another one if they're not careful. So that way, there's the 4 treasure chests in here, hopefully are more than worth the battle that they'll have to go through here, which isn't impossibly hard, but it is going to be one of the more difficult encounters in this area. So let's see. Here we're good. This one is closed, but we'll keep it unlocked because I would like to steer them this way. So We'll leave this one alone, and we'll leave this chamber alone as well. I don't see any reason to add enemies in this little hallway. Then we come to here. What can we do here? We've got an ambush. Let's set it up to hard. Okay. So when they come through here, they'll deal with these two guys in the middle, and then the ghouls will rush in from the side. Ghouls and skeletons will rush in from the sides and attack them. And just to keep them on their toes, let's add a couple of traps along here. Okay. And now let's see the next thing. How I'm going to segregate this area, because this way leads to the boss room, which I don't really, I don't want them to go to it immediately, so I'm going to make it a little bit harder to find. I want to change the type. Let's make it a secret door, and let's make it very hard to spot for now. I can change this in-game. Actually, you know what? Let's just make it hard, so that way, if I forget to change it, or if they're just having too much trouble, they can just do a search around this wall and find it. Let's close off these two sections. Oh, that's not what I want. Let's make that a door, and that a door. So one of the great things about this game so far has been that you can make really simple dungeons, but fun dungeons pretty quickly. It doesn't take hours to set this sort of stuff up. Like on a tabletop, I would sometimes spend, I don't know, 2 hours doing a dungeon like the one I did in the last video. Really setting my traps, DCs, deciding what I want them to be. Deciding how many mobs and where they would be. And that sort of stuff. But since everything works so much quicker in a video game format, you can really set things up as though they work quicker and can be more creative, or not necessarily more creative, but you can be more liberal with where you place enemies and that sort of stuff, how many enemies you have, where you have traps, and all of that. And it really makes the process a lot quicker for me, at least. I have a basic encounter there. Now, okay. So probably what I want to do here, if I look at the rest of these rooms, I probably want to have treasure in this back room here and this back room here. So to get to that treasure, since they're not going towards the boss fight, what I want to do is make these fights difficult. Yeah, something like that. And then we'll put the treasure at the end of the hall. But I'm going to do what I did last game. And I'm going to make these chests right here discoverable. So they've actually got to look for these chests to get them. Okay, so after they do these fights, they'll look for those. I don't want the exact same thing I did last time. So what is an up top? What does that give us? Zombies, archers, vampires, a mage, a thrall. So I mean that's not too bad, but like last time, I want to have traps laying on the ground, but I'll put them in different spots. So let's do some poison cloud traps. I just think poison cloud works really well with a catacomb type scenario. I'll put one there as well. So let's see. So that's a door there. That's just an opening they can get through, which I'm fine with. I'm actually gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make this lock impossible. They can only go through this pathway right here after they clear this room. And I'll leave that open to try to coax them into getting in here. So let's see. What else we got? We got this room here, which I like the layout of. I think that's fine. I'm not too worried about the traps there. what I do want to do, just to kind of direct them a little bit more, is I'm going to lock this one. Make it impossible. So they have to come up through here. And they can choose one of these two doors to go through. Either if they come through here, they'll have this fight on their hands. If they go through here, then they can miss this whole thing. Let's go ahead and just add a door. Okay. They can miss that whole thing if they want to. And it takes them down into here where we do want to have a fight. Yeah, we want to have a healer fight, so that way when they come here and they get their treasure, they really work for it. Let's do some moldy chests. Ooh, I reached my treasure limit, oh no. So I can't lay any more treasure chests in this dungeon for balancing reasons. That may not pay off. So actually what we're going to do here is we're going to lower the difficulty just to normal until they go through there and they'll get this chest. Now, aside from the chest that I've been laying down, as you probably saw before, there are chests already laying, but I usually max it out to, or not usually max it out, but I usually add a couple just to, like this one right here, to make it more interesting as they travel through the dungeon. They're constantly fighting, they're constantly getting loot, and it keeps the flow of the gameplay a little bit more consistent. Okay, so they'll go through there, they'll do these fights, they'll go through here, I already did that one, and now we gotta work our way down here towards the boss room. And I actually might need to redo this treasure in case there's not any in here. It looks like there's not. I might have to move a couple treasure chests around, so let's see. So as they're coming here, like I said, I made that a difficult spot. If they're coming through here, they're going to start heading towards the boss. And as they head toward the boss, I want the encounters to get a little bit more difficult. So we'll do an honor guard here. We're going to put a door here. We'll lock it. We'll make the lock normal. And we're going to add a trap, such as a petrify trap. And make it hard to spot and hard to disable. Let's do another healer's horde. We'll make it hard. Oh, that didn't take. And let's rearrange these guys. Cultist necromancer. I really need you on this side. So when they come through here, they'll have to fight their way through these guys, and then they'll come to this door here, which we will lock. And I'm going to make this very hard, so they'll probably have to roll a couple of times to get through this lock. I'll also add a poison cloud trap, and we'll just make this hard. Then I'm going to leave this area down here open to try to automatically draw their eyes this way. I'd like for them to clear out as much of the dungeon as possible before they take on the boss. So that way they don't miss anything, and I don't miss anything. It's really the better way to go, and I don't like directing them where to go in-game, so I'd like them to find that on their own. So we'll do a from above. We'll just make that normal. In here, we'll have a close quarters, but let's make it hard. Pretty simple. And in here, let's go ahead and fill out with a hard command center. What does that give us? Archers, explosive traps, skeletons. I don't really like that one. Why don't we... Why don't we use this opportunity here to build our own encounter and have a smaller, difficult fight on our hands. So let's go in. First of all, I want to have an ogre zombie here. I want that to be facing these guys as soon as they walk through the door. It's going to be right in their face, and they're going to immediately have to take care of that. So let's see. No, what I want to do is I want to lock this door. I'm going to go ahead and hide this door, actually. And I'm going to set up a couple of skeleton snipers over here. And maybe let's see, what else can we put in here? It looks like the next thing to do would be a necromancer. So we have ourselves a little fight here where we have a necromancer and 2 skeletons shooting while the group tries to take on an ogre zombie. And those ogre zombies aren't going to fall very quickly no matter how good the group is, so they should do all right. In fact, let's promote this guy. Let's make him a little bit harder than normal. So when they come through here, they're going to have a pretty difficult fight. And finally, what are we going to do through here? Let's see. First of all, I want to section this off. Because I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I don't think I want an encounter here. I think I'm just going to leave this hallway open. This is a little resting area for these guys to have before they fight the big boss. And the big boss that we're going to put up is it's a custom guy that I made named Uden Tor. Why I named him that, I mean, I'm not really sure, but I just put him there. He's essentially an Ashen Priest, as they call it in this game. A lich type character that will he's gonna be a pain. He's got a 3-point or so level offset, and he's gonna be hard for these guys to fight. But because I don't really think it's hard enough, we are going to add a couple of archers. We're gonna put an archer on every side of this room, or I say every side, every corner of this room, just to make this fight a little bit more difficult. So when they come in, they'll have the archers, they'll have the necromancer, and they'll have themselves a good fight. So they'll come through here and have a little rest, go through here. All right, good. So now the next thing we need to do, since this completes this portion of the quest, what I need to do is I need to go to this guy and go to the quest actions, new quest. I find the quest that I made for this guy, slay the one who raises the dead. And I'm actually going to have this on kill, update the quest. Let's say Uden So I think, let's make sure that I have that right. Updates the quest when the quest action fires. So after they kill him, it'll give this Udentor is dead. Alright, let's do this right here. Udentor is dead. Again, just a little humor. Speak with Zarn, who was their quest giver here. So after they kill this guy, it'll update that quest. And then they'll go through and they'll have to talk to the quest giver. And he'll then send them on another journey. And so there we go. Assuming I set up everything correctly, this should be a fun little dungeon for them to take on. It's got a couple of difficult fights in here. Nothing too serious. And a good little boss fight. And the most important thing to remember is that since I'll be playing with them as the DM, I'll be modifying stuff as it goes. So if it looks too easy or looks too difficult, I can add or take away enemies and traps as necessary, and can try to control the flow that way. But I hope they enjoy it, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thanks.